Hi, my name is Andy, a collections specialist at Credit Sage, and my goal is to help people learn how they can remove capital credit from their credit report. And in many cases, without paying their debt at all. So if that's you, or if it's somebody that you know, then I'm confident that you're going to walk away from this video knowing what the next best step is to take. Now, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't take action. For example, if you know or you believe that capital credit or any of the other accounts on your credit report are the result of identity theft, or have a wrong balance after you've already paid, or any major issues that are really affecting your life, you may be owed a settlement. And we work with a network of local attorneys that will work on your behalf at zero cost, win or lose, in addition to getting the accounts deleted permanently. But if no issues like that exist and you just want the account removed from your report, we can certainly help with that too. Just give us a call today. Our number is in the description, so you can find that easily. And what I want to do now is I want to go through the most important questions that we get about this company. And the first one here is really important, okay? And that is, can you be arrested or get jail time for a debt with capital credit? Now, I put this one at the top of the list because really we get a lot of callers that are terrified that this can happen. And it makes sense. You know, few people are taught how credit and debt work in school. I didn't know the answer to this question until I got into the business. And fortunately, the answer is, unless the debt is specifically related to unpaid taxes or unpaid child support, you cannot be arrested or get jail time. So there's no need to worry about that. Now, the amount of the debt doesn't matter either. You could refuse to pay $1,000 or $1 million, and you will not be arrested or get jail time. Okay? So who is Capital Credit and why are they on your credit report? So they are what's referred to as a debt collector or credit collection agency. And what they do is they buy debts, unpaid accounts, like credit cards, for example, often for very cheap. And then they try to collect the full amount, okay? An example of this would be, let's say that you have, for whatever reason, an unpaid card with Capital One, and it's $1,000. Capital Credit could, in theory, come along and buy that debt for maybe just $100. But they don't try to collect that amount. They try to collect the full $1,000 from you, which then gives them a 10x return on their investment. So, these companies can make a lot of money. And damaging your credit score by reporting the debt to your credit report is the primary strategy they have to get you to pay. However, what many people don't know is that paying a debt on your credit report does not remove the account attached to it. That account will sit there for 7 years, damaging your score, paid or not. So a lot of time, paying isn't in your best interest and really could just be a waste of money. Now, in rare cases, paying debts can even hurt your score further, okay? I've seen that happen. So in addition to credit reporting, they may send scary letters, call a lot, even calling family members and colleagues. And if a collector has ever threatened you or harassed you during non-business hours, you may be owed a lawsuit. So that's another case you want to give us a call so we can connect you with a local specialist that will take action quickly. Okay? Moving on here. We've got a question here is, should you negotiate a settlement with Capital Credit? If I can get the name. Settling your debt with Capital Credit really depends on your goal, okay? Typically, if you are wanting to improve your credit score, paying isn't the best option, okay? And the reason I say this is what I mentioned before. Even if you pay the collection, it will remain on your credit report for 7 years, damaging your score that whole time, okay? Now, instead, we always recommend working with an expert like us to review these accounts. And if certain issues exist, then the accounts can be removed. Okay? And this is a win-win. You won't have to waste money paying a debt that won't help your score. And the negative account gets removed from your report. So it's quite perfect. So how do you remove capital credit from your credit report? So it works like this. The Fair Credit Reporting Act gives every person the power to challenge information on the report. I will say that the knowledge required to do this is more involved than it might seem. Now, that's not to say that you shouldn't learn how to do it, but honestly, be prepared to spend weeks, maybe even months, learning how to do it properly. However, if you'd like to hire a professional to handle it for you and ensure that it's done properly the first time and save the extra time, we're happy to take care of it. We've dealt with capital credit accounts many times in the past. And I will say they regularly have issues. And we've helped numerous clients deal with them. And we'll take care of it for you as well if you prefer. How can you get capital credit to stop calling you? Yeah, as I mentioned, capital credit will be calling you if they haven't started already as an attempt to collect the debt they've purchased. Okay, which means the only reason that they're going to stop calling you is if you settle your debt with them, or you work with a company like ours to potentially have them removed from your report altogether. Okay. Will capital credit try suing or garnishing my wages? Capital credit suing is unlikely. It can, and it does happen, but in our experience, it's rare. And really, there are a lot of laws around how long they can sue for, what they can do if they win, and it's a long process. However, if we're able to find certain issues with the account, they won't be able to collect it all, which is another benefit of using an expert. Question here is, what are my rights when dealing with capital credit? So, to put it simply, you have the right to dispute any of your debt that capital credit has purchased. Capital credit is governed by the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, long name condensed to FDCPA, and as I mentioned before, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, or FCRA. Now, these acts can seem complicated, I get it, but they really provide a great deal of power to the consumer if you know how to use it properly. But if you don't have time to research these acts, that's not a problem. That's what we're here for. So just give us a call today. We can discuss your options, and we look forward to helping you out. Again, you'll find our number in the description, so you can see that. And with that, have a great day.